Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Southern Football Network show in studio. He's going to be coming with us every week. Antonio Williams, thanks for coming on the show.
Chris, I'm so excited to be here. I appreciate it. Once again, it's on, as they say.
Awesome, awesome. And then we've got everybody else out and about. We have people in New York City, Atlanta, Georgia, Nashville, someone else from Tennessee. Welcome, everybody.
Hey,
hello.
Awesome. Y'all ready to roll this week?
Let's do this.
I'm ready to roll.
All right.
I know this is an SEC show, but I gotta say, it couldn't be more tickled to see Florida State 0-2.
Oh, ouch. Boom. Slamming them. Slamming them. Are you saying they don't deserve to be in the playoff already? All right, let's get this thing going. I'll start it off. And it's awesome that we have everybody represented. Like I went to Texas, Jason went to Tennessee, Jamie went to Alabama. So we're all going to talk about the schools, and they have had the most impact besides Georgia and Ole Miss. So I'll start off first with my hook 'em horns, baby. Oh yeah, how about that? I'll tell you what I liked about Texas. Okay. Obviously, their offense is going to be great. I'm not concerned about their offense. They're going to score their points, right? They're going to beat everybody with that offense. Ewers, 3 touchdowns. My biggest concern going into the season was the defense. A shutout for the first time on opening day in 20 years. The Longhorns are for real, and hello, Michigan. We're coming to the big house. Antonio, what do you got?
You know what? It's funny that you said that because being a USC guy and a USC fan, let's go Big Ten.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
The Trojans. Nice.
The Trojans. So I have to represent for the Trojans.
Okay.
Michigan, let's go. Let's get it done.
All right, talk about Oklahoma. You're going to be talking about Oklahoma and how they looked.
You know, one of the things that I really liked about Oklahoma was the fact that they actually played defense. This wasn't a Big 12 defense. This looked like an SEC defense.
You're right.
Led by Danny Stutzman. Great linebacker, came back and actually had a chance to be a first-round pick. Projected to be a first-round pick again this year. So I'm looking for big things from Oklahoma and SEC from a defensive standpoint.
It's funny you brought up USC beating LSU because I'll tell you who was not happy. How about the LSU coach after the game? Let's show that.
We had some guys played their butts off tonight, and we're sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things. About not finishing when you have an opponent in a position to put them away. But what we're doing on the sideline is feeling like the game's over.
He ended up slapping down. He was furious about that. Okay, now let's go to the teams that actually won in the SEC. LSU lost, A&M lost, and Florida was an embarrassment. Alabama looked pretty good, Jamie. We'll go to you and your alma mater. Tell me what you thought about Roll Tide.
Yeah, so we obviously had some question marks. We have a brand new coach. I think everyone was expecting the defense to not look so good, but even Savin said, how's the secondary going to be? We don't know. And I think everyone was pleasantly surprised to see those 2 picks in the first 10 minutes of the game. Our offense was scoring so quickly, the defense didn't really get to rest. We saw Western Kentucky put together that 21-play drive, but other than that, I think Alabama fans can cautiously, optimistically have a sigh of relief.
Next up, Charlie.
Well, first of all, there were 2 SEC teams that had wins over legitimate teams this weekend. One being Vanderbilt. So I had to get a little plug for my alma mater. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Certainly the best team in the SEC. I think the best team in the country, the Georgia Bulldogs, and all over the field. I mean, whether you're talking offensive line, whether you're talking defensive front, where you're talking certainly the receiving core. I mean, I don't think Georgia's ever had a receiving core as deep as they do now. And the secondary, the linebackers, I mean, Georgia is going to outman every opponent this year, and they certainly did that with Clemson this year.
Yeah, I really feel bad for your Tennessee Vols. I really do. Because if they were in any other conference, they'd be the best team. They really would. Unfortunately, they're about the 4th or 5th team in the SEC, 4th or 5th. But they're really good. They're really good. Don't you agree?
I agree. Hey, but Tennessee did exactly what Tennessee was supposed to do when you're playing an inferior opponent. They might as well be playing Macaulay Chris's school that he went to in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Boys
Blue Tornadoes.
School. It almost looked like that. But to steal a phrase from the late, great Bobby Denton, the PA announcer for Tennessee, it's Nico time in Tennessee. And that's their quarterback, Nico Iamaleava or Iamaleava. It really doesn't matter how you pronounce this kid's name. He is legit. He was throwing lasers out there this weekend. He went 22 for 28 with 3 touchdowns, 314 yards, and that was just in the first half. Defense also stepped up. They only allowed 74 yards of total offense.
Okay, great. Now, speaking of Tennessee, you've got a special guest here. Why don't you guys introduce your guest and talk to him for a little bit for us?
Absolutely. So another Vol for life, Chris Wampler. Chris played at Tennessee in the early 80s, then went on to play for the USFL Jacksonville Bulls, and then spent some time over at Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers as well. Chris Wampler, welcome to the Southern Football Network. How are you today?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you coming on. So, Chris, you played in the 80s, and obviously a lot has changed since that time in the college football. What do you think is the biggest change with players in the game? We've got the NIL, we've got the transfer portal, the 12-team playoff. So many things have changed since you played. What do you think the biggest thing is, and how have the players changed since you played?
Bigger, faster, stronger is always a key as athletes develop. To say that I couldn't, or any of my teammates, Reggie White or those guys couldn't play today, I'm not sure, but I think we probably could. But on the same token, it's an overall program for those kids. We had a lot of time off, and it was more like, you got to do it on your own. They don't have any time off, so their programs are much higher rated than what we had. And as far as college football in itself, this is nothing like when I played. The name, image, and likeness has changed everything.
Hey, Chris, I appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks a lot. I know that while you were fighting through double teams and triple teams, that your buddy Reggie White was getting a lot of sacks and things. But could you talk a little bit about maybe some upperclassmen or some coaches that really took you under their wing and sort of helped you navigate the college football waters back in the 80s?
We got to understand something at Tennessee. Forever, up until the time that Philip Fulmer left, there was always a Tennessee guy at Tennessee. You think about it, I mean, through the years. So you had the Philip Fulmers, you had the Johnny Majors, but a lot of the assistant coaches also were former Vols. My coach in itself was Frank Emanuel. Frank was an All-American linebacker at Tennessee. Actually, I played for Frank at Tampa Bay and at Jacksonville, so I followed him around, a little bit of political stuff there. But in looking back, just the influence of Tennessee in itself and the influence that they had and they brought back over the years was the biggest thing for me.
So, Chris, you mentioned playing right next to Reggie White, and you guys were friends through the years, and everybody knows Reggie as the Minister of Defense. That's kind of his moniker there. And, he was very open with his faith. So talk about your relationship with Reggie and talk about your faith and how that's helped you through your playing career and, now as a business owner in your business career.
Reggie and I were great friends. I don't know if y'all knows, but I made the cut on his latest 30 for 30, talking about Reggie and our friendship. Our friendship lasted beyond his playing days. An incredible guy, just an incredible guy. Taken away too soon. His faith was everything for Reggie. There's amazing things that Reggie did that nobody ever knows about, and he didn't want people to know about it because he just feels like that was his deal.
Thank you so much for coming on to the Southern Football Network. We appreciate you, and Godspeed to you. Yates, back to you, buddy.
I enjoyed being here.
Excellent, guys. Thank you, Chris Wampler. We appreciate that and all that insight. Okay, guys, we're going to keep this graphic the whole time so we can have the numbers. We talked about how great the SEC looked besides those 3 teams. It's also the players. of 10 preseason players, even your Tennessee quarterback, 6 of them are Heisman hopefuls. So here are this past week of Heisman hopefuls, and I'll start with what stands out to me. I wish I could say Quinn Ewers. I think he had a pretty good performance, but look at the kid from Ole Miss. Holy cow. I mean, almost 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. That to me really stands out. How about you, Antonio?
Well, apropos that you called on me again, Yates, because Jackson Dart, former USC guy.
Okay, man, you and your USC connections
absolutely,
here.
along with
hey, you
Lane
know this
Kiffin.
is an SEC show, right?
I do.
Come on. No more Trojan talk. You get a limit of 1 a week. I'm learning that about you. 1 a week.
Along with Lane Kiffin. But it's great to see that because I'm actually expecting big things from Ole Miss, especially now with the expanded playoff.
Yeah.
They definitely have a chance. This expanded playoff is going to be interesting. It's going to save a lot of jobs.
Jason Martin, what do you got?
Hey, I'm right there with you. Jackson Dart put up an amazing game. I mean, Ole Miss put, 76 on their opponent there. Carson Beck had an outstanding, solid, yeoman-type working day. He's right there. Quinn Ewers with the no-look pass on the Texas game. I don't know if we have any highlights of that, but what an amazing pass. And, we got the Manning kid in, and he got to see a lot of action. But I do think that we should throw Nico in that mix. He is still a freshman, but this kid is the real deal, and everything out of Knoxville says that he needs to be on that Heisman watch as well.
That's true. The only problem is I can only fit 4 on the graphic page, and he's on page 2. And I couldn't make a second page, Sorry. All right, Charlie, what do you got?
Well, I think I don't want to be Debbie Downer here, but I think we need to pump the brakes just a little bit because we are talking Furman that Jackson Dart put up
true
against. And Jalen Milroe, minimal attempts, and Ewers will prove himself Saturday. And I think the Heisman race will start to settle out a little bit when we see how these guys perform against the big, in big.
Yeah, very true.
Georgia and Texas. I mean that's an excellent opportunity for those guys to step out. Ole Miss plays both of those teams as well. So Ewers has the first shot coming Saturday. If he can go up to the Big House in Michigan and put up another 260 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Wolverines, he's definitely going to earn some Heisman votes and probably won't even have to campaign in the state of Michigan the rest of the season.
That's a great point. And, the big games are what does it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tennessee's got a shot at NC State, a very good defense, and we'll see how that plays out as well.
Awesome, guys. Okay, great breakdown. And Jamie, you finish it off. What do you think?
Yeah, guys, are we doing the math here? Even though Jalen Milroe only had 9 attempts.
Yeah, that's true.
If we run the numbers and we were to even double that to get to the same yards as Jackson Dart had, it doesn't even make sense. He had 9 attempts and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Versus 27 attempts and 5 touchdowns. Guess what? Jalen Milroe actually had 5 touchdowns, and 2 of those came in his legs. So everyone's so under the radar on him. I don't know why. Lank all day long. Let all the naysayers know. And I'm not trying to be a homer. I'm trying to be a realist here.
Oh, you're not? Okay, sure. All right.
But we do some easy division relative to yards completed and then number of attempts. Doesn't really equal out.
Great job, guys. That was awesome. Jamie, being the mathematician, actually breaking it down a little deeper. I actually thought that, and I was going to say it, and you took it. Way to go. But that is true. Only 9 attempts. That's pretty impressive. All right. Look, college football, let's face it, it's all about the fans. They really add, of all the sports, they add the pageantry. So let's show some photos of some of the cool photos that we've gotten this week. All right, we got the Longhorns, we got all kinds of fans, and we'll show you the graphic here in a second where you need to show and send us some more photos, you fans out there, because it's all about you and the way you dress. That's kind of like a Jason type shirt, a little funky there. He likes those colorful shirts, those Hawaiian type shirts. And then that's just a bunch of Georgia fans because we traveled to Georgia. this past week to see the big game.
We definitely saw him calling out the dogs this week.
Oh, yeah. Look at this one coming up. This fan.
3, 2, 1. Let's go, let's go, let's go!
I love fans. They're the greatest. Southern Football Network at gmail.com. Send us the stuff, and we'll rock and roll with that. Speaking of fans, guys, Jason and I, for 15 years, have traveled the entire country looking for the ultimate tailgater. And I always get the same question, what's the best tailgate? And everyone says the same thing, the Grove. You're going to love this, Jason. I say it's Tennessee, and I'll tell you why in a second after this video plays. Let's check out the ultimate tailgater in Tennessee.
I used to rent this boat almost 20 years ago, and I would rent it for the weekends of football games. The lady kept trying to get me to buy the boat, so I bought the damn boat. After that, it's been history. We have many, many people come on board because there's no better way to experience tailgate. It's an honor to be a contestant. Wampler's got great, great sausage. We love it, and we'll use it from here on out as long as you come cook it for me. It's absolutely the ultimate tailgate. I've been around the nation everywhere. There's only one place in the country to do this. Right next to the stadium right here. You can set up on the side of the road anywhere in the world and tailgate anywhere, but you can't do it on the water. You cannot beat this. This is it. Fun, family, fellowship, getting to know people. There's just all kinds of stuff that we have, and we have a great time, and we'll continue on.
It's great sausage made on the farm in Tennessee.
Oh, man, they don't tailgate at Tennessee. They call it sailgating. I love it. Jason, I'm going to start with you. Everyone doesn't need to talk about this, but if you want to, you can, whatever. But Jason, you went there. It's the coolest experience I've ever seen. The water right around the stadium, and you can walk right to the game. And there's how many, 1,000 boats out there? It's phenomenal.
Oh, at least. Yeah, and people walk from boat to boat to boat. I mean, it's just one big party. It's one big sailgate there at the University of Tennessee. Now, we understand that the University of Washington that you and I will be at the Michigan game later in the year.
Yep.
They also sailgate, so I'm curious to see that. We didn't get to see it the last time when we did the Oregon-Washington game, but we'll see it next time. The Grove is great. I mean, it's great tailgating, but it's not sailgating. It's not a boat on the
It's
water.
phenomenal.
It's the most unique experience in college football.
I agree. So that's the great thing is we're bringing you, this is what's great about our show. We're giving you great analysis from all these folks and breaking down games. We're having fun, but we're also on site. To me, that's important. We're giving you behind-the-scenes access that no other show does. We're the greatest show out there in the world, so watch us, okay? All right, now we're going to do our fun segment called Exceptional. Okay, Jamie, you're going to love this, and you'll be able to. I want you to talk after this one airs because don't play it yet. But Jamie, I want you to talk about this because Nick Savin, let's just face it, greatest coach in college football history, but dull, boring, and pathetically lame until I see him leave college football, and I thought, he's going to be awful. The dude is hilarious. He's come out of a shell. He's having so much fun. Take a look at this. That is great. Savin's coming out of a shell. I didn't think he was this funny and entertaining. You got to be honest, Jamie. Are you kind of surprised how fun he's been? I thought he would be more straightforward.
No, I'm not surprised. If you ever watch his post-game interviews, he always has these iconic one-liners. But yes, we are seeing a much more relaxed at ease Savin, and it's been so fun to see the evolution of him off the field. You know, he's always done the Aflac commercials, and I think what works so well with him is the brand that he's always established relative to his coaching style and his personality, right, being so, you know, to your point, militant. But it's now so, like, easy to write for almost. And it really adds that great dichotomy to when he does get to show his personality and say things like, oh, I've never had this much fun, when he's being, jostled by Pat McAfee.
Without a shirt on.
Man, you guys, you're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Kirk was like, you just broke the internet. So, no, it is so fun.
Oh, it's great. I love it. He said it.
Best, relax.
Yeah, I love it. I love his personality. Okay, speaking of Pat McAfee, here's something I think is hilarious. Being a sports reporter is dangerous. You could almost get killed out there. Check this out.
What do we got there, McAfee? We got a cannon! Hey, a little pro tip for you, McAfee. Don't stand in front of the camera, or in front of the cannon. It might get you. Jeez Louise. That's smart. Jeez. That was great.
Unbelievable. Almost got his head blown off by a Texas A&M Aggie. Did the Aggies do anything right this past weekend? They lose and almost killed an ESPN reporter. What a weekend for the Aggies. Pat McAfee, stay away from the cannon. Aggies will kill you. What do y'all think of that? Any comment from the peanut gallery?
You know what? You're going to have Aggie fans calling in, beating on the door, looking for you.
Let them call.
I can't wait for that.
Let them call. You know what? Bring it on. The Aggies got nothing, man. They got nothing on us. And we'll talk about the Aggies all day long, but actually you got to win. But we'll also talk about when you lose. Just because I'm a Longhorn doesn't mean anything. I do horns up, baby. Now, I will say this. These helmets, we were supposed to get an Aggie helmet. I ordered them all at the same time. Guess who doesn't show up? The Aggie helmet. They never show up. All right, the last one. Hello, Aggie fans. Welcome to our show. I know you're going to love it. All right, the last one. The last. Okay, here's the last one. This is a fun one. Another exceptional tweet. Check this out. I'm going to talk over this one. Let's play this. You know what that is? That's a fraternity at Ole Miss, and that's a beer snake. They're drinking all the way to the top of the stadium, and those are the pledges holding it for the actives as they drink their beer. That is true fandom. That's the largest beer pong I've ever seen in my life. That is so great. Anybody remember your college days like that? Wasn't it fun? Anybody have any memories like this?
No,
or do you not remember?
I was an athlete. I can't say anything.
Okay. What about you, Jason? Do you have any memories, or did you remember those memories?
6 years of college, back to me, yeah.
Yeah, okay. 6 years. I love that. Okay.
There
Okay.
as well.
All right.
I was not a doctor or a lawyer either.
Okay, so that leads me to the next thing. We'll go to the photo in a second. College days were my glory days, but really it was my high school days. I was legendary. I really was. I'm not kidding. Check it. Oh, no, watch this. Watch this. Check this out. Oh, yeah, look at that. I was one of the best defensive backs in the state of Texas, got a college scholarship. I'm telling you, I still think I could do it. And I've had this argument with Jason. Now, Jason, I really believe in the heart of hearts that I could play for a college program. Not Georgia, not Alabama, maybe mid-level school like Texas A&M. I could probably play for them as a DB. I have a stipulation, though, Antonio.
Let's hear it.
You ready?
Let's hear it. I'm ready.
I'm the closer. I only come in on one play. I'm not joking. I think I could cover someone. Now, I can only come in on 1st and goal from the 5. That's it. I can only cover about 5 yards. I'm not going out there.
You cover yourself with a blanket.
No, I'm not covering a 20-yard out. I go in for one play only, and I win the game because I stop them on the goal line, because I did that in high school. I picked off Ty Detmer, Heisman Trophy winner, on the goal line. I know I could last one play, but I'll be exhausted after that. I'll go to the bench, and that'll be it. So, matter of fact, this just happened this past year. Arkansas had tryouts, and I knew they needed help, and I went and I tried out. True story.
Arkansas freshman Ryan Yates, who was a defensive lineman in high school, was one of about 50 students who showed up to the Hogs' open tryouts Tuesday morning. Talking with him afterwards, he told us regardless of the outcome, it was an incredible experience.
Sam Pittman, he talked to us all in a circle, said how proud of us he was and how much respect he had. He actually talked about how he didn't have the courage to try out when he was in college. So he said there was a lot of respect there and that if we don't make it this year, try again next year.
And if it wasn't for Yates' dad, Chris, he may have not even tried out himself because his dad wanted to hop in on the fun too.
So I told my son it's a no-brainer. He's got to try out. I mean, you have an experience, a story forever. And I thought to myself, you know what? I played high school football in 1987. I still got it.
Unfortunately, only registered students were able to participate. But hey, Ryan's dad was given a glimmer of hope by the end of it.
One of the coaches came out and said, thanks for trying out. I told him, he goes, maybe we'll do a special tryout for you. I like your energy. So you never know. I may try out. And then if I make it, then I'll come to school here. I'm telling you guys, 1st and goal from the 5, I come in, I win the game.
Yates, your 40 time is forever.
That was good. That was good.
You're tracking the sundial, but the sun's not up long enough.
All right, man. Well, next time I see you, I'm going to let you run a route, and I will at least bat the ball down. I'm telling you. Okay. I can do it. All right, guys. That's it from the
cover me? Yeah.
Yeah, you. I can cover you for sure. Anyway, guys, we're closing up here from Shop in Dallas, Texas studio. I'm going to let you guys wrap it up. Jamie, hasta luego. Thanks for coming us from New York City. We'll see you again. Everyone's on next week. I got Charlie and Jason. You guys are going to finish the show and talk about a really cool magazine that people can be a part of. Guys, great show. And then Jason and Charlie, y'all finish it up on your own and end the show and talk about it. We've got a graphic for you to explain. See you guys.
Don't forget to go to our website, www.southernfootballnetwork.com, where you can pick up a copy of the Southern Football Guide, which is our digital magazine. It's got all of the depth charts. It's got all of the offense, defense previews, schedules, the cheerleader sideline section, something that you can hang on to and flip through all year long. Again, it's digital. It doesn't cost anything. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter that goes out every single week. And if you don't like any of it, blame Charlie, because Charlie writes all of it. So thanks for tuning in to the Southern Football Network. We'll see you again next week.